You are listening to the We Hired a Sitter for This podcast.
We hired a sitter for this.
We have a roster of like 7 sitters.
I'm spending $3,000 on paints.
Do you go to therapy?
Never have, nah.
There was a small fire. I put it out.
Real talk, the stakes are too high with my baby.
Comedy, parenting, marriage, life.
We do it all.
I'm a dad and I'm busy.
I have an opinion. I don't know if it'll be right, but
I'm Patrick.
my name is Gastor.
We hired a sitter.
Hey, we are back in the Kia Sorrento, ladies and gentlemen. We're in Westerly, Rhode Island. We just finished a duo headlining, co-headlining. That's what they call it, co-headlining.
Yeah, I would say that. That works.
I think we put on a great show.
Real talk. I think they loved you in particular. I thought it went really well, man.
I disagree. I feel like every time they love you in particular.
Nah, this was definitely your demo.
And then
it was cool.
Yeah, these were old white ladies. And then we got on stage together and they loved us both.
Yeah.
And we are dedicating this episode to all our new fans from Westerly. Several people said, "What's the name again?" And I said, we hired a sitter for this. And they're like, "Where do I watch it?" And I'm like, "It's an audio podcast." Which actually is not true. It's also a show on YouTube.
You're pointing at the camera.
Yes.
While saying
So we're in Westerly. We hired a sitter for this. This is the beginning of the podcast, but we're also going to record some interstitial narrative ideas to maybe make a little mini documentary about what we just did.
Ooh.
So I don't know, in documentary filmmaking, it's like you want everybody to say everything in the present tense, but we're sitting here in the dark outside the venue after it's over and the show started in the daylight, which is never great for comedy.
I got to tell you, I didn't know, that was a rule for documentary. Good to know. It's interesting. Now I'm
It's not a hardcore rule, but it's ideal to make it feel like you're with the person as the thing is happening.
That's dope. I like that.
For a follow documentary, that's like
gotcha.
That's a subgenre, a follow doc they call it.
Ooh, look at that. Y'all ain't know y'all was getting educated, right?
Yeah.
Rewatch all your Netflix stuff differently. See if they stick to the follow doc formula.
Oh, you do not want to watch reality TV with me because I know when it's a pickup, like they'll say, they'll shoot some big dramatic thing and they're like, all right, we got to go back and get pickups of so-and-so saying whatever so that we can set this up.
Right.
And I can tell when it's a fake-ass soundbite that's leading into some dramatic thing. And I can also tell when they combine sound bites to make the person say something they didn't actually say.
Ooh.
Like, I know all the tricks.
Look at that. Can't
we
get one over on P.
Yeah, no. But we don't do that on We Hired a Sitter for this. This YouTube show is just us sitting here talking at the camera. But today we have 2 cameras.
Amen.
That's
Not because
right.
we wouldn't. It's just we don't got the budget for that. Like we shooting this once raw. You getting it?
Exactly.
We'll cut the beginning out or the end out, but like the middle, nah, we ain't got time for that.
Is it okay that the viewfinder went away?
Yeah, we good.
That's just
Still
standby.
recording, baby.
Okay.
We on
All
a
right.
budget,
it
baby.
happened on both.
Yeah,
Nice.
same time. We
The
good.
camera knows we got to save battery for these poor schlubs. But yeah, we're up in Westerly. We're doing a co-headlining show at the United Theater. As I'm talking, I'm like, I should be getting B-roll shots for cutaways of these things. I'll just use whatever. I'll just use internet footage.
Yeah, we could do it. You know what I mean?
United Theater in Westerly, Rhode Island, which is I think I used the word bucolic earlier.
I don't know what that means. That's a real word?
It's like idyllic. It's like bucolic, I think, means like peaceful and serene and beautiful. And idyllic means the same thing. Like, is there crime in this town? What happens in this town?
I definitely think loitering is probably the crime here.
Yeah. There's a lot of loitering tickets being handed out.
I mean, the cops got to do something.
They definitely don't like a panhandler around here.
Nah.
Like, if you're trying to get something for free, they're not going to like it.
Real talk, you better be busking something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Churning out product and content.
All of these, like, type of cities, I just call them, like, Gilmore Girls cities.
It is, and this is, there's a sign. It says Block Island, Watch Hill, New London Steamboat.
Okay.
So, Watch Hill, that's where Taylor Swift has, like, a campus. Or, like, a big-ass house. She like, has houses in Nashville, Watch Hill, New York City. She's probably got multiple apartments. Who knows what she's up to?
I mean, I guess if there are investments is cool, but, like, I don't understand buying a house that you ain't going to be in for more than 2 months a year.
Oh, no. Yeah. It's,
like, if there's less than that, just Airbnb or, like, you know what I mean? Get a hotel.
Yeah, make money with your money.
Yeah.
This is also a finance website podcast.
Real talk. We got you.
We're talking about doubling your money.
Straight up.
And
real slowly over 40 to 50 generations. Yes. You know what I mean?
We doubled their fun tonight. Co-headlining show with Tad Flynn, Dan Martin, 2 New England comics. I've known Tad maybe a year now, I guess. I did his show here. I said on stage, I told that story, so I won't tell it again here. But hey, maybe we start cutting stand-up into our podcast.
Why not? We do it all, baby.
Should we experiment with that? Here's my very funny Taylor Swift story. Does Trump have a house up here? What is it? Is it Watch Hill? Do you guys live in Watch Hill? That's where Taylor lives, right? So the first time, I'm so grateful you all are here tonight. The first time I did this gig with Tad, it was the night Taylor was premiering her movie or whatever, or the tour, the Eras tour. And I showed up and there's all these beautiful moms with their beautiful children. I'm like, I'm hot shit in Westerly. I cannot believe the turnout that Tad got for this comedy show. There was a red carpet, there's limousines. I think Taylor was here herself. I'm like, Taylor Swift is at my show? And then I walked inside and Tad was like, no, we're down the hall. And I was like, oh, down here? He's like, no, keep going. Go out to the alleyway, we're performing behind the dumpster.
I'm pro all of these ideas mainly because Patrick is going to edit this and I'm not.
I'm
like, if you want to spend the time, cool.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. I suck at editing in general. And then like adding that extra job is beyond me.
I think you're actually a very good editor in that you know what you want. Sometimes you will text me and you'll be like, "This is good, but you could cut out this thing, and this thing that is 50 seconds should be 25 seconds." That you have no idea how helpful that is and how good it is for someone to be decisive. I used to sit in the editing room with my editor, and I would say, I don't know, I really like how like this thing happens and then he has this realization and then like they go talk about it outside. Can you just do that? And she'd be like, can you tell me what you want? Like I was so vague, and it's just so much better to sit and do it yourself with like documentaries because you can just kind of shape it to what you want. But to have somebody who has the insight of like knowing what they want from the get-go is so helpful. So that's me telling you, you're going to be a great filmmaker, screenwriter, director, all
Fingers crossed, baby.
Whatever you want to do. If you want those jobs are too stressful.
Yeah. I like the filmmaker job. I do want to make my own films.
Yeah.
But admittedly, I have a lot of work to do in terms of learning all the stuff that you know how to do in terms of technical.
Yeah.
So I'm on that journey, you know.
Well, let's hang out. Let's do a filmmaker boot camp. I'll start giving you assignments.
I like it. Real talk. Let's do it.
So yeah, we came up here. We did the show. We spent 4.5 hours in the car. I picked you up at 2 p.m. We got here at 6:30, and I was like, surely we'll get here at 5:30. We can take a stroll down this bucolic thoroughfare of Main Street, Canal Street, it's called. We'll go look at the Pawtucket River over here. I'm going to give you some sights. We'll get some fun shots for our podcast. None of that happened. We pulled up. We went into the venue, which is right outside this window. I don't know if this camera can see it.
Yeah.
Venue's literally right outside there. Now we're going to get back in the car and drive back to New York City.
Amen.
We will have not set foot in Rhode Island at all, except for this movie theater. That's depressing.
It happens sometimes, man. Real talk. It's a weird gift and a curse to like do stand-up where like you travel the country, but like you're honestly just in the same room.
Of a different state.
Yeah, like you're just in a hotel over and over again.
Yeah.
You're in a green room and like you know it just little enough and you're late enough there that you have to like Uber.
Yeah.
So like you don't even get to walk around.
And like you're like just eating the same French fries with a different amount of salt and pepper on them.
Yeah. Chicken fingers and fries, baby.
Yeah. Oh, that is sad.
But we do it for y'all.
Yes.
And for us because we're weird and self-centered and
That's why I said, the one lady, I love when people say after the show, you're so brave, it takes so much to get up there. And I'm like, lady, I'm sick. I'm a sick individual.
I need this.
I have a disease.
It's a problem.
But yeah, what'd you think? Have you been to Rhode Island before?
I want to say like only in passing. I don't think I've chilled out here.
Yeah. It's an easy state to just drive through. Yeah.
Yeah. Like my wife is Mystic.
Yes, very
That's
close.
here?
Yeah.
It's in Rhode Island too, right?
No, it's right across the Pawtucket or the Thames River, right over here.
Okay.
We're very close.
My wife has gone there with the kids.
That's nice.
I couldn't make that because of stand up the last time. We're planning on doing a revisit. Outside of that, I can't think of a time I've made it up here. I was gonna say a reason. That's messed up.
Yeah.
Now, like, I've been meaning to come out to Providence.
Yeah.
I've heard like it's a nice city in general.
Yeah,
Not even on stand up, just to like chill. Like, I honestly want to see more of New England. I feel like Boston disproportionately makes y'all rep bad.
Oh yeah.
to New Yorkers.
Yeah.
Every time I visit a city in New England, I'm like, man, like y'all gotta take over the branding because these other cities are dope. Like Portland, Maine, I rave
the
about.
best.
I absolutely love that city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They should have a election, like who is the signature city of New England? And right now it's Boston, but Portland we want to take over.
Yeah, and like not even on some anti-Boston tip, but just like maybe put some pressure on Boston. Yo, step your game up. You don't own New England. Like that's honestly how I would decide where the Patriots play.
Right.
You hold an election, they rotate which New England state they rep the most that month, that year. They like play here now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want them back, you know, we got to have the general election. But I think it's off. They're like, that's just automatically a Massachusetts thing. That's near Boston. I think that's whack.
And in fact, I mean, democracy was like invented in this part of the world. So maybe having an election and ranking the cities is how we start the purge, and we do it in a democratic way, and it's for the environment.
Amen. It should function like I'm a kind of show my heritage here, but like Latin baseball, Winter League ball, where like we got like the Dominican Republic has their own pro league. They all play each other, and then the champion team reps the Dominican Republic in Winter League ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, that's how it should function. All of the states in New England should play each other in, like, minor league football.
Yeah. And
then the winning state reps the New England area in the NFL that season.
I like it.
That's how it should be done. You know what I mean?
And you could do, single elimination, make it a rapid process.
Real talk. Even if it's not even, like... Even if the thing that decides the football team isn't football, maybe you have like New England dodgeball, and then the winner gets to say New England Patriots play there.
Yeah,
just for kicks.
Yeah,
but I think while Massachusetts as a whole is dope, there's some talent out here that ain't getting talked about enough, man.
Yeah. So, what brought you to Portland?
I went up there the first time for comedy, the homie Marcus Cardona.
Oh, yeah.
Really dope comic from up there. When he moved out to Brooklyn to do stand-up, that's how I met him. But
he was one of the few people who were nice to me at the Creek.
Yeah, he was dope people. Like, he's good people. It may sound like he passed away. He alive and well.
God rest his soul.
Real talk, man. He went to die in Portland, Maine. But like during the lockdown, he moved back home. And he kind of like really like started a dope movement up there. He had a couple of like shows, started an outdoor show called I think The Campfire. I might be misnaming it. My bad if I am, Marcus. But like he was getting huge turnouts for these shows, and then and he was selling out at this like really dope public venue. Then like he pivoted to doing indoors. Now he has like he books for monthly for like the club. He also books the Don't Tell shows up there. He's like really become like one of the it guys of Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
Much respect to the other people that do what they do up there, but like he's a dude that like really like puts on for his city. And when he booked me, like I told him like, yo, like I don't really have much of a Portland connection, so I don't know if I'm gonna be a draw up here, but he kind of handled that at a fun turnout.
Yeah.
And more importantly, the thing that was really dope is he makes sure that any headliner that goes up there spends an extra day, and he literally gives you a tour of Portland.
Oh, wow.
So like he took me out to like some dope spots. The tourist thing showed me what the local cuisine is. If you're into seafood, they crush it up there. The potato donut game up there.
Oh,
Holy
yeah,
Donuts.
Yeah. I know that exact donut spot. What's
Hell
it called?
yeah, Holy Donuts.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
joints is crazy.
I've had 1 million donuts from there.
Real talk, same thing. Every time I go now, I have to get 2 dozen donuts to get every flavor to bring them home.
Yeah.
And it's like a Portland, Maine thing that is popping up there. So like, it was cool because to your point, like, it sucks to like as a stand-up, normally I miss the city that I'm in.
Right.
But I got to really be in this city and like, see, even if it's a little bit of it, admittedly, I'm sure there's more, but like, I got to see a little bit of what makes this community special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially on some, checking myself here. I will always say New York is the greatest city. And,
Right.
and I rep it hard, Brooklyn in particular. But other cities are dope and they got their own thing too.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was cool to see someone that reps their city the way I rep mine.
Yeah.
Show me their city through their eyes.
Yeah.
It was fire. So like, point is, I fell in love with Portland. I was on Zillow shopping.
Yeah.
And every time I've gone back since, I've gone with at least a friend. But usually I bring out my whole fam. My wife and my kids came out.
That's great.
And we make it a whole thing. Like and again, shouts to Marcus. He gave me a whole itinerary. Messed up my calves because that dude walks everywhere.
Yeah.
Had me I did like 12,000 steps.
Oh, yeah.
With Marcus in 4 hours.
We got to get Marcus back involved then.
Real talk, yeah, I mean like really walking, but we got to see like a local park, a beach. We went to the seaport, tried 2 different seafood spots. We had this like hot dog place that like they have like these things where like how like a lot of restaurants give you like a little flag, like know where to bring your food to.
Oh yeah.
Well, their flags had like little like toys on them that slide down, and you could like race each other.
Oh, that's
whose
fun.
toy slides. It was cool, man. It was like a lot of like local cultural things that like are dope. He took me, and he's also like a big foodie. He's worked a lot in like the restaurant industry, so he took me to some spots that he used to work at that were like very hipster Brooklyn level.
Yeah.
Weird food that was dope. Blah blah blah. Portland's dope, A, but
Yeah.
B, it's really dope as a stand-up to really get to like see the space you in.
Like be in a town. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Back to Mystic, Connecticut. I had a formative experience there.
Whoa.
When I was a kid, we went as a family to the Mystic Seaport, which is like the tourist attraction of the area.
Okay.
And there's an aquarium there, and we go to the aquarium and have a nice time as a family, and then we go to the bookstore afterward, or the gift shop or whatever, and the place closes. They lock the doors, and I forgot to leave. And I was alone inside this locked bookstore at the end of the night. And it probably took like a minute for my family to realize where's Patrick, and they came and found me. But it was like that feeling of like, oh my God, like I'm an orphan. I don't know where my family is. I don't know where to go. I don't know how this happened. Why are the lights keep turning off?
How old were you for this?
Probably 8 or 9 or 10, I don't know, somewhere in there, like small, but like probably old enough that I did it I probably did it on purpose, like I can't recall the exact way it all unfolded, but
when you were alone in there, were you blaming them or owning the decision?
I think probably owning it, because I think I was always like had this thing about wanting to be alone or like escape or something, or like have some kind of experience or be somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, like I think at a young age I got really into like sneaking around and keeping secrets, or like going outside late at that wasn't really till like middle school, high school. Like me and my friends would sneak out at like 3 a.m. and like just like wander our neighborhood and do stupid stuff.
Okay.
Sorry, I gotta focus on this.
Don't kill us out here. We good.
Entrance, right?
Yeah. Rhode Island. This is beautiful, but like y'all don't got lights.
Yeah. Well, we're also filming a high production value episode of We Hired a Sitter for This, where we have the dome lights on.
I always find those things interesting because like, are you born with that? or did something happen that like made you want to be like a risk taker, solo person type thing? I'm always curious like what those things are, because like, are they controllable? Like as a parent, I'm curious like how do I put the right amount of that? Because some of that is good. I want my kid to be like, I ain't scared to be alone. By the same token, I want my kid to want to come see me when he's 30, you know? Like, what if your daughter starts showing signs of that and like you're like, damn, like when they're 18 and they move out, they might never see me again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little of both. I think there's just personality types. Like I always say, my kid was born herself. Like she is just who she is. But then I do believe in the environmental effects of like how a person is raised. And come to one of my shows and you'll see I have plenty of things I talk about from my childhood and my household. And I think there's plenty of reasons as a small kid that I was sort of like, I want to be alone right now, or I want to go have an experience that makes me forget about certain things, or I want to go explore what it would be like to be somewhere else. Like I was never a runaway. Like it was never that bad that I was like, I gotta like run away entirely. But I probably was just always searching for something else, or curious about other things, or just wanting to behave, like pushing the boundaries. Like I can remember this thing I did at the Newburgh Mall once. I remember I'm so ashamed of this to this day. And I feel like I've probably talked about this on the podcast, but I went into the men's room. I was probably like same age, like 9 or 10. And I remember nobody else being in there. And I went to the soap dispenser and I pressed it and the soap fell down and it hit the countertop. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I just made a little bit of a mess. Nobody's here to tell me not to do it. I'm going to do that again. And I pushed it again and the puddle got a little bigger. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. I'm like vandalizing. So I just kept pushing it, and I made this huge puddle of soap on the sink top of this public bathroom.
Right.
Thinking like, I'm getting away with something, or I'm being bad. I'm being bad, and I like it, you know? And I kept doing it like 20 or 30 times, and I turn around, and there's this random dude just standing there staring at me, and he goes, hey, partner, what are you doing? And I was like, nothing, and like, at the same moment, like, I go to leave and my mother's right outside the door and the guy tells my mom what I was doing. And it was like so embarrassing, and I was like, she's like, why did you do that? And I was like, I don't even know. I don't know why. And I truly didn't know why. But that's just like this weird, stupid example of like weird misbehavior stuff. And then like the older I got, it was like thrill-seeking stuff like skateboarding and biking and rollerblading and doing like really scary stunt-type stuff. Like I never was interested in learning the techniques of like getting good at any of those things. I was like, let's build the biggest fucking jump we can and like go as high as we can and find the steepest hill to go down, and like jumping off the bridge into the river and like real like kind of see, we're passing the Mystic Aquarium right now.
Oh, rock on.
I wonder, it's 9 p.m. I wonder if there's any children getting locked in at this very moment. So yeah, I think my thrill-seeking behavior became eventually alcoholism. It was like, oh, this substance just gives me all those feelings I've been seeking my whole childhood, like instantaneously. Like I'll just do that now, you know?
Right.
And I do think it's related to like childhood stuff, you know, like, you know, I don't know. Man, we were having such a light conversation about how cool Marcus Cardona is.
Hey, man. I gotta tell you,
yeah.
That guy sucks. I don't think he should have ratted on you. That was
the guy at the mall. Yeah.
I think he had a right to call you out on it.
Yeah.
And I think that was enough.
It could have
of a
stayed
check.
between men. Yeah.
Exactly. That was a dude moment. And like, I think when you run out and talk to your mom, I think he's supposed to look at your mom, but not say anything.
Yeah.
Just to like really instill the like
that
yo,
this
don't
is a
do
code.
that. Yeah. I'm letting you slide, but like,
Yeah.
don't do that again.
Yeah.
And that should have been enough. And you would have registered that in a different way, but an equally like moving way.
Yes, like he would have sent a message about integrity
Yeah.
within oneself instead of checks and balances in society, or like ratting people. Yeah, snitching.
Yeah, man. That's a missed opportunity by that gentleman to do the right thing by you and by society. Tells me a little bit about him too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in a perfect world, he'd say, "Hey, buddy, let's clean that up, all right?"
Yeah.
And then he'd stand there, I'd clean it up, and then we'd all go on with our business.
That's it, man. Come on, B. Makes me wonder, and feel free to not answer this because it's like weird, but like,
No.
I would assume if your mom is hot, only because it's an excuse to talk to your mom if I'm that
that's
guy.
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm trying to like, cause
he's like this delinquent is my perfect opening.
You know what I mean? Oh, I can slide in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My mom is conventionally attractive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and back then, we're probably talking 89, 90, 91, somewhere in there.
Peak Mrs. Holbert right here.
She's
you know
cutie.
what I mean?
She's
she out here. Yo. So
Uh,
he's like, yo, I could be a stepdad. Let me show.
Yes.
Let me show my skills right here.
He's
you know
like,
what I mean?
let me be an authoritarian to this young man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That gets you in the box. You know what I mean? He's like, oh yeah, I'm here now. Look
Yeah.
at what I did. I checked this dude. Clearly he needs a father figure.
Yeah.
I'm here now. I could do it.
Yeah.
But I question that dude, but I definitely think that that's one of the things that when people talk about stuff like that, environment really like registers to me. Like,
yeah.
I wonder if you would have had that same level of need to take risks if you were raised in the city.
Well, yeah. So that's what I wonder. Well, yeah, the city. It's like the
'Cause there
risk
would've
is
been-
all baked in.
Yeah, there would
And
have been other risks. And
Yeah, because it's stimulation. Like I think the thrill seeking is attached to. I need something more than just this this house or small town stuff or whatever. Yeah, in a city, it's like a barrage of stimulation.
Right.
And I bet young people sometimes crave the opposite.
Right,
They're
exactly.
like, I want to be a bookworm and like retreat to quiet spaces, and like that's interesting.
Like, because I always hear like friends of mine that are like, I wouldn't want to raise kids in the city. I want to take them to the suburbs. And I'm like, I understand the sentiment, but like, I think you're applying what you needed as a kid.
Right.
And assuming your kid is going to need that.
Yeah.
And being frank, like, no diss to any parent. None of us know.
No.
Until the kid is out and starts demoing what it is they need.
Yeah.
But, and very few of us are blessed where we're like, oh, the 5-year-old, now that I see your personality, let's uproot our whole life and go to the opposite place or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, by all means, if you're doing it and you're getting it right or wrong, good luck, props.
Yeah.
But we know it's a thing. But, yeah, like, I've never... I've always like wondered if more people like thought of that, because like I genuinely think my kids need to be city kids.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I've also, to your point, I've definitely met people that like needed to be suburb people.
Right.
And I think that's great that they like figured that out. But yeah, I think that's a case by case basis. But when I hear you say that, and then you live here, and I think you found peace here.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if like that's what you were looking for, a place that offered that for you.
Yeah, I think so. I think, people talk about like people's vibrational frequencies.
Yeah.
Like my nervous system needs a little bit of like higher vibration. Like I need stimulus.
Yeah.
And I wonder with her, what the environment. Yeah, that's probably the thing that's DNA. You know what I mean? You're just born either, like people talk about extroversion or introversion or type A, type B personality, whatever the hell, left or right brain. Like, it's true. Like, people are just kind of who they are. And then there's like a little wiggle room around each kind of character trait. It's like a video game, like where you get like, turn up the endurance to 10 or whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah. I dig that.
So, yeah, for her, it's like, I guess we can do... I think to get a kid to not want to, like, sneak around in the middle of the night or become a hardcore drinker, it's like, you got to show them that life is fun, and there's ways to have fun without all that, and there's ways to, like, I guess say, like, hey, if you need more action and excitement in your life, you can have it however you want it, and there's all sorts of ways to do it, and here's some things we're going to put in front of you, you know?
Right. Yeah, like, I make it a point. This was the story. I'm just capturing footage here.
Yeah.
Like, when this cleared up and it showed me a truck facing me, I got a little nervous there.
Yeah, I'm like, am I on mushrooms right now? That is eerie as hell.
Yo, that's wild.
Did you ever see that viral video of the couples driving and the guy gets a shot of that and then he pans over and his wife's sleeping in the passenger seat and then he goes, "Ah, honey, wake up!" And she opens her eyes and she goes, "Ah!" She freaks out because she thinks the truck's coming at her.
Oh my God.
It was pretty cruel because
That's
I
great.
feel like you could kill somebody with a heart attack with
Real
that.
talk. I'm sure you can.
With that said, I am going to go ahead and pass this
Yeah, man.
backward moving Mack truck.
I'm good on that. But yeah, like, I think that's...
Oh, that's so weird.
Yo, it's trippy, man.
Because they're towing each other like back-to-back mirror image.
No, I'm good. But yeah, I think it's important to kind of find that balance is right for each of your kids.
Yeah.
And it's experimenting, real talk. I think like you figure out things that connect with them, that are like high sensory moments that are fun and productive, and you expose them to different ones and see which ones connect with your kid. Like I don't think it's a coincidence that like my wife and daughter have bonded over going to like Broadway plays.
Right.
And it's a New York thing, but like she found a way to like show her something that like is very New York, that like is super exciting. The whole environment of it, you go in, there's like a lot of energy in the audience.
Yeah.
You see that it's a community event. You see this live show. It's not a movie, it's 3D. And then when you spend a week at home focusing on your books, you can balance that because you know that every now and then you're going to get a moment like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you can figure out as a person based on how that kid reacts. Oh, do I need to do something like this every week, every month, every day?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my son enjoys those things just as much as her, but less often.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, like I think it's interesting to kind of pay attention to see which one of those things connect with your kid and how they move when they see them. It's vital, I think, to like good behavior. I think a lot of like kids misbehaving is more so them telling you I need something.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have this energy, I don't know where to get it out. I can't stop punching kids out in school, or I can't
Real
stop.
talk.
Yeah, whatever. And same with substance use. Like a kid who discovers weed and then realizes, oh my God, I need this. Like so many people I know in recovery say, I needed it. It like was a tool that actually worked for me at first.
Yeah.
You know, like I was anxious, or I was, depressed, or I was whatever, and then I discovered this thing and I could finally feel comfortable in my skin. So yeah, it's like the same thing. Like help them get that comfort from probably just love and presence and support.
Amen. But if you need to punch a kid, apparently.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I do think that would be dope if like people, that would be an interesting business, like volunteer to get punched.
Oh yeah, I know so many people with such punchable faces that they could make a killing on
Real talk.
on Venmo just by putting, or maybe it's an OnlyFans channel.
Yeah, I think there's money there. Like real talk, you could record the punches,
Yeah.
and have people watch the punches for money.
Yeah.
They could pay you to be the person that punches you.
Oh yeah.
Different amount of money per body part. A punch in the stomach, different in the chest, different in the face.
I mean, if we think of ancient Rome and the Colosseum, like that's essentially what it was. They just
Yeah.
didn't have front-facing cameras on their phones to do it on a smaller level.
Yeah. It would be like the human version of like one of those like smash rooms.
Yes. Have you
Yeah.
done one of those?
No, I want to though.
We did do it, and it was, I have to say, it was a little bit of a letdown because you have to, there's like hidden costs. Like they say, hey, welcome, you get to pick one piece of this one printer and here's a stack of plates. If you want more stuff, you gotta pay for it. I thought it was just like unlimited smashing, but they hide the cost, so it's like more expensive than it should be.
What a
like
racket.
I should be able to bring a bunch of my own old shit.
Yeah.
You know? But with that said, it's fun and it's probably good for you.
Huh.
And if it's done in a conscientious way, hopefully it's like being recycled properly.
Right.
But yeah, we went on a date night and it was pretty fun. I got a bunch of like slow motion videos of her smashing stuff, or I think both of us just shot a bunch of footage.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Well, do you prefer that to an escape room?
I've never done an escape room. I would enjoy that. Ross would not want to do an escape room.
Why not?
She hates puzzles. She's not big on games in general, like organized board games and stuff.
Okay.
She gets angry.
Oh, okay.
And I think escape rooms, she would not be able to handle the nerd energy that's built into it. And especially if there's like a role-playing host.
Right.
But I would love that. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, I've done I think 2 of them.
Yeah.
Always fun. I had a blast. It definitely helps having the right crew of people.
Is it challenging? Like, did you go to good ones that were like actually hard to figure out?
I've never had it be a layup.
Yeah.
But I think we did one that like they give you an hour and like we got out in like 17 minutes. So
Yeah.
like, it was good time, but also like not like, we're competitive. Like doing this professionally. There's people that are like really impressive at it.
Yeah.
There was competition unintentionally, even though we worked as a team.
Was your wife involved?
Yeah, it was for my wife's birthday.
So do you two work well together in those environments?
I think so, but not at the time. I think we've learned to do that. This was early in our relationship.
Oh, wow. I didn't know escape rooms were around back then.
Yeah. Early in our dating. In our marriage part.
This is the mid-90s we're talking about.
No. Jesus.
I'm just kidding.
But like, it's fun just because like you get to like work together in a different way. You get to see like you learn weird things about your friends.
Yeah, who else was there? Just buddies?
Yeah, it was just like a bunch of couples that are friends of mine. The random one was my kid's sister, who at the time I think was like 14, 15.
I assume it becomes very obvious very early in the process, like who's your dumbest friend.
Yeah, for sure, and that hurts,
Because then everybody's got to pretend like they're not that dumb. You got to be courteous.
You be like, nah, man, you helped. You didn't help at
all.
You
did a good job.
We wouldn't have gotten that clue without you tripping over the thing that was solved.
And then you pat them on the head like a puppy.
You also find out who's the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, these are all clues, and it's fascinating.
Yeah.
But like it's just cool because like weird, interesting things kind of come out. Like I know my sister like was she solved one of, it was like 10 clues we needed. There were 10 of us there.
Yeah.
My sister got one of the clues because she was like studying it in school at the time, like a periodic table thing, and she was in that class at the time in high school. So that was kind of dope. There's definitely people that kind of take the lead. I had like 2 friends that like, I think between them solved like 6 or 7 of them.
So there's many puzzles within the puzzle.
Yeah, and like you need to like usually solve one to get to the next.
Yeah.
So like it was just fascinating.
And was there a staff person playing a role?
No, there's a person that like introduces you to what's at stake, and they're there to voice over just in case you're like
there's a speaker they're like watching you on camera.
Yeah, they're watching on camera because there's like don't break that.
Yeah,
But for the most part they kind of let you rock, and they told us, but it never happened during hours, that like if something went like really wrong and you need to get out, you can. And also if like she said if like it's an hour thing, so if it's like 50 minutes and you're on like clue 2, they'll start making it very obvious because they still want you to have a good time.
Yeah. I want to do it. I want to go
fun,
this weekend.
A good value. Like I don't remember what I paid, but I remember not feeling it was overly expensive.
Yeah.
And it was I would have done it again, and we did it like once again after that. I found another one that was like a similar level of difficulty. They were like, there was once a time where they were like uber popular, and like websites
Yeah.
were dedicated to
Yeah.
ranking them.
My college agency does them, and they fly a host, like somebody who plays it like they're like a character.
Okay.
You go, they give you a bag. It's like it all fits in a like a big piece of luggage,
Okay.
and it's all fabric, and it hangs on pipe and drape like in a square shape on a, like you could do this, like the school can do this in the cafeteria or whatever.
Right.
Which I'm just like, that can't be a good escape room. Like if
Yeah.
it's just made of fabric, like that
Yeah,
can't
no,
that
that-
can't be fun. Like
that's
I want to feel like I am stuck,
Yeah.
and I could die if I don't figure this out.
That was sincerely what I thought was cool. Like, the guy walks you in, tells you what is the storyline or whatever of what you're trying to solve. But he's like, once I lock this, it's locked.
Yeah, yeah.
And he leaves. And like they lock the door. You hear it close.
And how much of it is like mental, intellectual puzzles versus like physical mechanisms and like locks and keys and like.
It was a pretty good blend. There was things that like I needed to like work out ideology. There were things that like you needed to know the technology or like play around with things. It was a nice blend.
That's
but
cool.
None of it felt like brute force or strength.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was really like dope. One of the random things that I thought was interesting was like you needed to know how like old radios worked.
Oh, interesting.
And there was like a clue that was being said supposedly by like the character that hit it on a random
like
frequency.
on a phonograph. Oh.
And
Yeah.
like that made me like laugh because like what if you like rent an apartment across the street in this random neighborhood and like you hear this thing all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Because like they had to have a AM thing playing at that frequency for this to work.
Yeah.
And while it wasn't like national, like you're not going to hear that in Brooklyn. Anywhere within that block, I'm sure you could hear that thing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was always funny. But
Yeah,
like,
where was this?
it was in the city. Just stuff like that was dope. Like there was just like it was a chance to kind of like use the group think. Some of the stuff was
Would
like,
any of this be fun doing totally alone?
if you're that kind of person, sure.
Because I'm honestly thinking this would be a nice way to blow off some steam by myself.
I think for sure, but I do think it's a personality type.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the group think of it.
Because you
like,
kind of need, you need to play, you got to bounce ideas.
right. There were a lot of times where like we would know like this is the clue, what does it mean? And like people would shoot off what they were thinking, and then like how like brainstorming is with like writers' rooms where like you don't have an idea until you hear someone else's idea.
Right.
So having 10 people that were willing to talk out was vital. So there were like like we joked earlier about like the dumb friend, but like you need everyone to talk.
Yeah.
So like
sometimes you need a bad idea to lead to a good idea.
yeah. So like there were moments where like you might not have given me the clue, but like your thing led to us getting here.
Yes.
And that happened a lot. So
Yeah.
like I genuinely thought it was dope to kind of see us work together, and then it brings the group together. Like afterward, everybody's like, "Yo, that was so dope. Without you saying this, I wouldn't have got to that, and I only thought of that because of you saying this."
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, man, real like dope hang, man. And you, like I said, man, it makes people feel good about themselves, yo. Like it was cool. Like one time I did it with I've done it with like different groups of friends, and it was surprising to see like the nerd come out of both groups. They're not groups that like I associate as nerd.
Yeah, because you can't be too cool for school in an escape room.
Yeah, because then it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You gotta like give up what you know, and then that's the other thing. Like afterward, everybody's like, "Yo, how do you know about this?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Learn about each other.
Yeah, it was cool. Like there was like a weird reference to like tattoos that like the religious person in like the crew knew, and like I was like, "How do you know that?" And they're like, "Yeah, like I'll never get a tattoo, but like I love watching like Kat Von D's TV show."
Right.
And like they learned about like this weird tattoo thing watching that show, and like because it was like a person that like would never get tattoos, doesn't have any, religiously wouldn't do it, and then they were the one that answered the tattoo question.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that was dope.
What do you think it says about human nature that we like the feeling of being trapped or put in through dire straits or like horror movie genre?
Yeah.
Like we like to be scared. We like to feel afraid in some way. What do you think it says about us that we volunteer to go get locked in a room with people we may or may not end up fighting with the whole time?
I mean, seriously, I think that life is too safe.
Yeah.
I think people
Like
need,
we have an ancient itch to feel like we're in danger.
Yeah, we have an ancient itch to push the boundaries of what's possible. And
I didn't shower today, and I'm realizing I have an ancient itch that I need to take care of.
oh man, that's the fear I'm doing right here. I'm living with,
Yes.
this dude
A
has me in a
biological...
shitty Kia that
Yeah.
might break, and he smells. And we out here, baby.
And the ventilation is just barely working.
Amen. And we got to close all the windows to pod.
Yeah. Yeah. How long are we at, by the way?
I have no idea.
And are we still recording?
We're at 9:56. No idea if we're recording. This is all just in our heads.
Yeah.
This could have been just for us.
What if we tap this? Will it give us
Let's find out.
a time code?
Boom. I'm gonna hit a button. That did nothing. I'm gonna guess we're at 40 minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the human experience is exploring.
Yes.
I think that's like when people talk to comics that are like, anytime I talk to somebody that like has known me my whole life, over and over again, I'm surprised by like, there's like a level of like, man, I'm so proud of you. I wish I could do that.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I see you talk, you look different. And I think it's because, not because I'm like successful or whatever, it's because I'm constantly putting myself in that position.
Yeah.
Like I need to push the boundaries of what's possible.
We need a
stage. You need a thing.
Yeah, we need a quest.
Yeah.
I think
Boom.
I think
I like
that's
that.
been I think that's been written about in The Way of the Superior Man. Have you ever heard of this book?
No.
I think it gets shit on by people, but it's like this book about like personal development, and this guy has this theory that men, he does a lot of, men versus women stuff.
Yeah, it sounds very Andrew Tate, by the way.
Yeah, which I don't subscribe to all these ideas, but I do think there's some truth to all this stuff, right?
Okay.
But he says like men need to feel like they're on a quest, and it's the correct quest for that individual person, etc. And
Yeah.
what people are seeing in you and what you're experiencing is you are on the correct quest.
Yeah. I think that stuff matters, man. You gotta find the thing that you're going after and go after it. And this is something that like I've struggled explaining to like my father in particular, that like he's talked to me a lot about like like stability and what I've given up going after this job.
Yeah.
And this thing, but like
the shorthand is, where's the money?
yeah, like yo, like how you gonna feed people, you know?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I don't think he can understand. He can't wrap his head around the idea that like I'm okay not making it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I just need to know that I tried.
Yes.
I would like to make it,
Yeah.
but I know that if I stopped and did a stable thing, I'd be depressed.
Yes.
I need to like know that I really tried doing this thing.
Yeah.
And that's what's bringing me joy. And it makes me like tick in it. And I think people see that in clips more and more, because like I'm fully in this thing.
Yeah.
And it's the answer to like so many people's like sadness. Like, yo, I'm like, you waiting to do a thing one day, but like, yo, we already 40, my
yeah,
G. Like,
yeah, it's time.
and like,
Yeah.
you could just be doing the thing.
Yeah.
Even if it's not at the level you want, you doing the thing is dope. That's a win.
It's the end. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
that's
making the journey the end is
Yeah.
the key.
Amen, B.
And-
Yo, but we helping people's souls today, yo. Let me tell you, man. I'm digging this.
Oh, yeah,
Now I don't know
yeah.
if we funny today, but we moving, y'all.
yes,
Real talk, B.
we-
Play this in the mornings when you getting ready. You brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
Yo, I want you to like, yo, Gastor got me through my shift today.
Get your crystals out, put them in your hands,
Real
and
talk.
sit in a lotus position and re-listen to this episode.
Amen. Your chakras, I don't know what you do.
Get them in alignment.
Amen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If Mercury retrograding,
Unretro.
unretro that joint. You know what I
Ungrade
mean?
it.
Real
Regrade
talk.
it.
I dig this, man. Real talk.
Yeah.
I'm pro all of that. I hope we enlighten some people right here.
I think we sure did, and I think we did in the room tonight.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many white people wearing Van Heusen and J. Crew. Enjoy a couple comics from Brooklyn so much.
Amen. They had a blast, yo. Real talk. That was sincerely like fire, man. That venue's cool, by the way. I know, like we joke, the movie theater joint was like sincerely nice. I like the little space they had for the stand up. It had like comedy club feel. Like, the joint was dope.
There's a professional sound guy there. Jason, that was my second time meeting him. Jason was dressed down for Casual Friday. The last time I did this show, the sound guy was in a full suit and tie, and he was like in charge of I think that guy's like kind of in charge of the arts program or something. I actually emailed him about doing a workout solo show there sometime. And I can't remember how exactly he rejected me, but he rejected me. I think that his point was this guy Tad, who we worked for tonight, already has like a schedule of stand-up, and they can't have too much random stand-up going on there. And I tried to explain this would be dramatic though. Didn't work out.
Too much stand-up in Rhode Island, they got rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Like now people go crazy. Okay?
Yeah.
They just start laughing randomly. They're too happy. You gotta control the happiness level.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for the listeners, there's we just penciled in a date. For me, you're welcome to do it if you'd like to. Come back for July 27th.
You back, baby.
Down the street at United Theater. There's it's called the Tapped Apple Cider Room.
Hell yeah.
Pretty positive we're gonna do a show on July 27th there, because I'm gonna be basically living up here for a good part for like 3 weeks of the summer. We got to talk about that. We're going to do a couple weeks in July and then a week in August with the in-laws up here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I'm trying to get some Connecticut shows and some New England shows, maybe some Portland shows. Another room we should talk about is in Manchester, New Hampshire. I don't want to have a business meeting here, but we're New England comics now.
Amen. We've made the move. It's official.
We're coming back.
Real talk. We made this happen.
But what else was I gonna say? I don't know. Oh, talking about finding avenues for your kids. Sunday morning, going back to our second swim class with Franny.
Ooh, I like that.
So she's learning to swim formally. I've been putting her in the pool for 2 summers in a row now.
Okay.
And we're like, this summer she should know how to swim from a certified coach.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, she seems to be liking it. The first session was fun. It was really cute. She got new goggles this week that she's excited about.
Okay.
So yeah, I think for her energy level, it's like swimming. I want to get her in a climbing gym. Maybe we tried dance. She's not ready for that. Things that involve like big bursts of energy, I think is what she needs.
Can I ask, as you're doing this to find the thing that she burns energy in, or are you still being like stereotypical dad of like she might go pro?
Oh,
like,
no.
What's your like agenda in doing this?
Well, I will say with swimming is like safety mainly. It's like I just want her to know how to handle herself. The deeper she gets.
Okay, I'm asking because like you guys are freakishly tall as a couple.
Well, yeah, no,
you know, and like that could work for swimming.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've done enough shows with Laura Sogar now that I'm like, wait, maybe my kid can be an Olympian too.
Yeah.
A funny Olympian.
Yeah.
So no, I have thought of that. Honestly, I'm like, actually, if she likes swimming, because she does love the water.
Okay.
And her grandfather, Papa, Ross's dad, is an avid swimmer. Maybe that's a fun thing she can get into that will also get her college paid for.
It's in the genes, baby.
I will always support and encourage, like, hey, like, you're really good at this. Like, let's see if you really want to do it or go for it. But I have a feeling I can't ever be the guy that's like, all right, you got to do this. Let's buckle down. I mean, unless she is committed.
Right,
you know?
right. Yeah, if my kids showed any type of interest in that, I would definitely be that dad. But I can't force it either. I couldn't do that. Yeah, I could force another person's kid though. If your kid,
yeah, maybe we'll need backup.
let me know. Be like, your dad made me do this. Okay, you are now swimming champion.
Yeah.
I even got a backup sport. We could do rowing.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
that'd be
mean?
fun.
Less competition for scholarships.
Basketball.
Basketball is more competition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to get you free college.
And rowing. Now we're talking Ivy Leagues. We're talking
yeah, that's
Harvard.
what I'm saying. You get into
know?
good schools.
Yeah.
And they purposefully reach out for tall people that didn't get D1 basketball scholarships.
Oh, interesting.
Because there's a need for rowers.
You know the loopholes. You've
That's
done
what
the
I'm saying.
research.
Yeah, yo. I learned this from my homie Richie Redding. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, I do. Yes.
Yeah. He was a former
wrestler,
competitive rower.
Really?
Yeah, but
he's
was
a little guy.
He was a coxsman.
I was
the
gonna
guy
say
in the front.
Yeah, but how do they spell that? Coxswain, right?
Yeah, I don't know. He tells it to me. I say it with confidence. He might have just been lying to me to get me to say coxman over and over again.
Yeah.
But
that would be a Richie thing to do.
He's like, I got this idiot saying coxman all over New York.
I learned so much from him.
Yeah.
On one gig. I did one of the strangest gigs ever with Richie. He doesn't remember me at all. He's pretty open about this too, so I think I can say this openly. He's in recovery also.
Okay.
And we did a rehab show, but we did this very fancy rehab in Manhattan where it's not like you see in the movies where there's like 40 people in a lunchroom.
Right.
It's literally 2 patients with a nursing staff of like 6 people in a kitchen and living room setting that's like very, very nice. It's like a multi-million-dollar brownstone in the middle of Manhattan that's multiple floors.
Yeah.
And they can have, at their maximum, I think they can have like 15 people there, 15 patients. But we had a crowd of 2, and you stand I did this gig a few times over the years. You stand at the front of the kitchen table while they're having dinner, and you do your set. You do a set, and this, of course, was very strange because it's 2 people sitting there eating, and then like staff coming and going. There's like a nurse station, and I did, I was opening for him, which meant just do 10 or 15 minutes and then bring me up, and I was like, all right, I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna do a set word for word. I was also only like 4 years in or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll do a set word for word and hope for the best. And they like did the like kind of response, like they felt uncomfortable about laughing and whatever.
Right.
So it felt very painful and uncomfortable, and like it just really felt like, what am I doing here right now,
Yeah.
And, I did all my material about me being in recovery too, so I was trying to relate to them, but he just fully just, like, talked to them and, like, very authentically just, like, shared, like, yeah, I'm in recovery too, like, I've been where you are, and, like, before he even tried to be funny at all, he just, like, really became connected, yeah. And, I don't know, just seeing him do that with such confidence and ease, like, because, I mean, you know him on stage, like, he has such an ease about him. And then by the end, like, I think he talked for like 45 minutes, and by the end of it, they were laughing hysterically, just these 2 people who were in pain and didn't know each other. And it was just so cool. It was like, he's so cool too, that guy,
He's a pro's pro, like, for real.
And I was just like, damn, why did it not even occur to me to just talk to these people like people and not try to like win them over with my brilliant fucking ideas, which are not brilliant,
Yeah, I mean, you got to learn those things as a stand-up. And even like saying it out loud sounds like doable, but like seeing how to do that is a skill.
Yeah.
And, say Richie's been doing stand-ups, got to be approaching 20 years. Like, he's dope. But yeah, like I learn from homie all the time. Like homie's he started a business around the idea of like how to use comedy in like business settings. Yeah. And like it's just eye opening to see what's possible and like how to do things. But dude, every time we on the road, like I pick his brain about random things, and we ended up on this whole rabbit hole about competitive rowing. And he's like,
Oh, that's interesting.
And he told me, he's like, I was the only little person on the team because I'm in the front. That's what that person does. They kind of like lead the way and like make sure everyone's doing things effectively. But everyone else is like 6'3".
Yeah.
And he's like, it's if you know someone tall, it's and they're relatively athletic, it's not a bad idea to push them into this because, you know, like every other tall person goes to play basketball or football, and like there's real scholarship money.
Yeah.
And he's like, on top of that, he's like, it's a sneaky way to get like a 2-for-1. Like if you still want to play ball at a big school, those schools love it when they get like a really good bench player and the scholarship doesn't even count against their team, it counts against the rowing team.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean? So like it was dope. And then and a lot of what he has learned business-wise and like life philosophy-wise, he's learned it from rowing.
Yeah, because you got to be out there like 5 a.m.
Yeah, he's got like a level of discipline. He talks. I'm not gonna remember the guy's name, but like he speaks so highly of his coach. I've been trying to get him to do like a documentary on that world. I think it's a sporting world that doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
And it's highly competitive. There's real money behind it, but not enough people know about like what it takes to get into it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be dope to kind of see it. But yeah, like he's a dope dude. But him telling me that, I was like, damn man, I wish my kid was 6'4". You know?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna cancel swim lessons and we're gonna go out on the Hudson Sunday morning.
Amen. Let's do it, baby.
Well, that's great. Thanks for sharing that.
That's what we're here for.
That's how we're gonna get her through college and life. She's 4 years old. It's never too early, right?
Amen. You start rowing now, man, she'll be a monster.
Yeah.
Real talk.
All right, we got 2 cameras that are telling me batteries are low, so we're gonna say goodnight. Thanks for hanging.
We survived. We did a podcast in the dark, driving on the highway in a busted car.
Actually, let's turn off the dome lights
with
to end
itchy
the
balls.
episode. Yes. All right. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Lights off.